Okay, selamat pagi dan Assalamualaikum semua. Okay, selamat sejahtera. Mari kita check the attendance guys semua ni. So basically, alright, ini roughly attendance saya buat. Okay, saya akan submit balik this attendance. Alright. Okay, Amirul ada kan? Amirul? Okay, Amirul ada. Amirul segan nak jawab tu. Tapi selalu pergi tanda selalu. Irfan Irfan ada Irfan bin Muhammad Syawaludin.
Ada.
Akila ada kan?
Ada sir.
Okay, Syakila.
Sir.
Okay. Shantini ada sini. Okay, Zafira. Ada. Okay. Husnul Fatimah ada kan? Syazurin ada.
Ada.
Okay. Aisyah ada kan? Okay. Okay, Alif cuti rasa ni. Dia tak sihat dia kata. Okay. Okay, Jamin.
Saya.
Okay. Ismail ada Ismail.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Afiq ada Afiq. Afiq tak ada Afiq. Nadia terus membangun lambat ni. Nadia pun tak ada lagi. Lukman ada kan? Lukman. Okay.
Lukman ada, sir.
Okay. Alabas ada Alabas. Ya kan?
Ya.
Okay. Rabiatul.
Ada sir.
Sorry. Nadia belum bangun lagi ni. Okay, Rabiatul pun ada kan?
Ya sir.
Okay. So, yang tak ada sini Nadia dengan Afiq. Okay. Dah 2 kali ni. So saya dah inform, okay. Kalau korang tak nak ada apa-apa isu nanti dalam attendance. Okay. Make sure you hantar at least a formal letter lah daripada your personal punya writing, punya own orang kata excuses kan. Apa benda yang kenapa you tak boleh datang kalau tak pergi MC. Kadang student kalau duduk sendiri dia tak pergi jumpa doktor, so dia rehat kat rumah saja kan. So basically sebenarnya korang boleh, kalau korang online session ni yang bagusnya, kau boleh on saja, boleh on the online session, lepas tu korang baring korang dengar lah kan. Itu one of the most orang kata apa effective way kalau kita nak jaga attendance. Bukan saya nak ajar you guys buat benda macam tu, tapi even though my kids, saya punya anak pun sama juga, macam kita ada kena pergi keluar, kadang dia kena buat dia punya vaccinator punya schedule kan. So walaupun dia tengah online class, saya kata okay, you buka saja, bagi tahu dekat lecture tu kita kena pergi certain areas, kena tempat, okay, pasal kena vaksin ke apa ke. So at least you ada dalam kelas kan, boleh dengar pakai earphone, contoh macam tu lah. Kadang sambil baring pun boleh dengar kan apa lecture tu tengah membebel rasanya. At least you jaga you punya attendance once, and then you jaga you punya assignment. Simple saja. I talk to my kids kan, even though the student itself cakap benda sama juga. Okay. Sebenarnya kalau ikutkan dekat universiti ni, especially in our course, okay, in our course, kita punya biasanya konsep pembelajaran dia tak susah mana. Tak sesusah macam awak belajar dekat sekolah kan. Dekat sekolah menengah contohnya. Saya rasa susah tau masa belajar dekat sekolah menengah ni. Memang rasa susah. Rasa macam tak boleh nak pergi kan. Kenapa kena belajar tu, kena belajar. Kita tak dapat that that relevant of issues yang sepatutnya benda tu boleh berlaku bila kita kerja dan belajar, bila kita alami dunia pekerjaan, kena ada relation lah, connected kan. So benda tu tak dibagi masa kita orang, masa zaman saya dulu lah. Itu setahu saya kan. Jadi even though kelas lukisan saya pun masa saya masuk, saya tak tahu effectiveness apa yang saya akan buat in the future. Dan saya tahu saya suka anime, saya suka melukis, saya suka kartun, saya suka animation, suka movie, suka video games, tapi saya tak tahu yang sampai saya sekarang boleh mengajar orang kan. Boleh mengajar orang, boleh make a living out of it. And so I basically living what I actually dream of before. Kan? Itu yang misalnya kalau kita dapat information tu daripada awal, kemungkinan kan. Ini semua khas Tuhan juga. Tapi kalau kita dapat information daripada macam you all sekarang dapat information awal tau. You tahu sebenarnya direction you sepatutnya. Kan? Exposure, information banyak. So, if you have your own directions, macam saya bila dah masuk alam universiti ni, belajar ni, baru saya dapat expose dengan dunia grafik, design, even though animation sikit masa zaman tu kan, tak ada animation lagi. Tapi dapat exposure lah daripada our seniors, daripada proses pembelajaran tu sendiri. Lepas tu exposure dengan TV, Astro channel masa tu kan. Masa tu internet tak kuat lagi, tak berapa expose lagi, besar lagi kan. So we try to seek for more information lah untuk kita ada directions. Tapi my times yang ada, if you want to be more successful, nampak glamour, successful is advertising sah. Advertising agencies. Tapi saya tak memilih ke arah tu sebab saya minat animations. Saya memang minat animations, cuma zaman tu animations tak begitu meluas. Dan saya pun tak dapat berpeluang untuk join macam grup-grup kawan-kawan saya sekarang ni dalam animation industry yang otai-otai ni kan. Macam contohnya zaman Busuk Santurian, Fat Lizard, EL Graphics masa tu. Tapi saya masuk dalam grup lain, tapi in animation juga. So pada zaman tu sebenarnya memang susah sebenarnya. Even though kalau kita ada very good portfolio masa tu pun, dan saya rasa saya boleh pergi, tapi peluang tu mungkin agak kurang sikit pasal exposure. Pasal kita tak ada, contohnya kita tak ada website, jadi kita tak ada social media yang very strong. Kalau sekarang ni, okay, you dah hantar resume you pada mana-mana company, kalau company kata, oh kita nak orang experience, then you hantar you punya portfolios, betul tak? Without you going to the company itself to the interview first. So you boleh bagi dekat dalam WhatsApp ke contohnya kan. Okay, this is my portfolios, basically my PDF portfolios. Okay, please do not hesitate to look into it. Okay, and please contact me, for example, lebih kurang macam tu. Untuk kita exposekan diri kita pada that company. Macam saya pun buat benda yang sama juga sekarang ni. Bila saya ada certain kind of new client, saya just bagi that portfolio on PDF. Atau kita ada link on website kan. Simple, mudah saja. So that's basically your world right now. Okay, we living into that world. Benda sebenarnya lebih mudah untuk you all access informations. Even though your lesson sebenarnya. Cuma you kena latih diri you untuk minat balik lah dengan apa yang you buat. Think about one thing lah, okay. Why you choose to be here and why you actually have been choosing these courses is part of your career path, for example kan. Benda tu penting. Okay. Saya bukan nak bagi motivasi sangat, tapi kita nak kena ada clear kind of objective lah. Basically, why you were here dan macam mana you nak overcome and develop back again your skill. Okay, because it's very important. So even though we have only 2 hours basically for every single session in every week, tapi we have to make use of it dan kita kena share juga. Saya kena share. Saya ada tanggungjawab untuk share pada you guys. Okay, and kalau we want to talk about macam our personal family issues, for example kan, semua orang ada. Saya pun ada masa saya belajar dulu. Tapi macam mana kita overcome back again? You kena ingat satu benda je. Okay, selagi you berpeluang untuk belajar dan maybe your parents atau you have a sponsorship yang boleh membuatkan you belajar tanpa ada gangguan. Contohnya, bulan ni nak semester ni tak bayar lagi duit exam apa contoh kan. Tak ada tau, tak ada pun. Cuma you kena fikir duit makan, minum dan equipment dan belajar kan. So you have to take that kind of advantage. That's a little bit kind of selfish sometimes, tapi kena ada in a very good way lah. Pasal apa? This is your career. You actually have to develop your skill right now. Kalau you tak develop that skill, that knowledge, that informations, macam mana you nak prepare yourself in the future kan? Okay, whatever it is, you ada sijil, okay, you graduate, then kalau you nak kerja dalam bidang yang di luar daripada bidang kreatif pun tak ada masalah. Tapi you dah ada pegang sijil tu. Sebab apa? Bila you ada sijil, satu benda I nak share dengan you. The difference between people who have sijil dengan tak ada sijil dekat luar tu is very jauh beza tau. Walaupun in terms of friendship kadang-kadang tak ada masalah. Tapi bila you go for professional punya meeting with the clients, orang akan tengok siapa you sebenarnya. You datang pada mana. Kalau orang kata, oh you ada diploma dalam animation dekat ASWARA, okay, dia akan pandang lain sikit. Kalau dia tengok, oh you tak habis belajar ke contohnya lah kan. Lepas tu atau you drop out ke, ataupun you, tapi that you nak build up that kind of success dengan you punya portfolio, walaupun in terms of our own circles, okay, you ada skill cuma you tak dapat ni. Tapi in a different kind of world of corporate people, layman, right, client itself, sometimes dia akan pandang benda tu tau. Dia akan tengok your level basically how low or how high basically from them, above them. Dan basically cara you adapt that kind of situation dengan you bercakap dengan orang and you portray yourself, your appearance pun is really important also. Okay, that's kind of things. So benda-benda semua you kena adapt, okay, as a part of your career path punya preparations. Okay, so those are the things, okay, yang I boleh share kat sini supaya you guys basically aware tau. I don't know whether there's someone, people basically your previous lecture actually talk about this or not, tapi saya kena cakap juga pada new generation about it because I'm talking to also to my kids the same thing kan. So even though macam kita ni pun bila kita jumpa orang, and there's a certain kind of level, certain kind of obstacles, also challenges also will be faces over there. Okay, macam there's a lot of things lah kan sebenarnya. So kita belajar live and learn basically back again. Dan kadang-kadang macam saya kadang-kadang bila saya berjumpa orang for the first time, sometimes saya akan cuba buat macam saya tak tahu apa pun, dan macam kita akan be humble a little bit, be a very kind of what we call that lay down a little bit kan, supaya kita boleh belajar tengok macam mana orang punya respon, macam mana orang tu punya adaptation, macam mana orang tu punya behaviors of interact with when he actually or they interact with us. Okay, after that, after few meetings, then baru kita bukan tunjuk taring, tapi kita akan bagi sedikit kita punya own kind of what we call that principle of engaging the works kan, or engaging basically the meeting itself. Pasal bila kita cakap dengan orang Malaysia ni sebenarnya berbeza sikit dengan orang luar, berbeza sikit lah. Okay, tambah-tambah kalau macam orang-orang Malaysia macam bangsa-bangsa, bukan nak kata rasa berbangsa Melayu tu sendiri lah kan, dia penuh dengan tata cara budi bahasa. Walaupun sebenarnya kadang klien ni dia suka pergunakan kita contohnya. Okay, saya cakap benda ni pasal reality tau. Tapi sebenarnya semua orang sama je. Okay, setiap bangsa ada dia punya own kalau what we call that behaviour. Kadang sama saja. Tapi cara kita adapt balik kalau kita go to direct balik, okay, saya punya kerja macam ni boleh. Depend macam mana orang layan kita. Kalau kita nak go to very strict punya behaviours, boleh. Kalau that client, kalau orang cakap very lansy lah kan, dia macam koyo sikit contohnya. Okay, kita go to strict punya behaviours or treatment. Okay, macam contoh awal-awal datang, oh saya nak you buat macam ni. Contohnya kan, dia banyak demand kan, banyak sangat dia punya cerita dia kan, nak tunjuk yang dia bagus dalam apa yang dia buat, padahal dia tak respect kita as a person of who actually going to work for him kan. So kita bagi je zarat. Okay, kalau abang nak macam ni, kalau you nak macam ni, kita punya terms and condition macam ni. Okay, contohnya. Okay, saya perlukan at least 40% to 50% of upfront, and then we are going to be sending over also a sample of work based on our discussion. Then we can go further from there. You suka, you pay for 40%. Then masa tu dia start bargain dan demand. Okay, macam itulah contohnya. So kita kena tengok, kalau orang tu datang dengan budi bahasa baik, kita pun tak sampai hati kita nak go straight to the point kan. So kita pun ikut rentak diorang lah. So bergantung sebenarnya. Okay, you belajarlah sikit baca-baca macam mana human behaviour at the same time. That's why you have basically the presentations on your works. Okay, so kena cakap sikit, kena bercerita sikit. This is all about practice sebenarnya. Okay, even though I'm also learn all the time that kan benda tu. Okay, so ingat benda tu. So kita tengok macam mana behaviour orang treat kita, dan kita cuba jadikan cermin lah. Okay, jadikan cermin supaya senang kita nak communicate dengan orang tu. Okay, kalau orang tu very hustle, very there's urgentness, okay, kita tengok balik sejauh mana dia punya urgentness tu, supaya kita boleh develop kan. And for me, the best thing untuk kita give basically our best for the work, especially for the client, always give more lah. Okay, tapi jangan terlalu lebih. Tapi give more from what they have request. Supaya kita boleh promote basically kita punya own works, as self works. Okay, as a part of our reputations. Tapi bukan bagi semua tau. Okay, kita akan bagi based on request, dan kita bagi lebih sikit based pada kita punya own creativities. Okay, that's the most important thing. Pasal clients, or even though your employees also employees kan, dia akan tengok your punya effortness on give more to the task that they've been given. Sama juga macam our assignments atau our exercise. Okay, so if you can give more from what we actually have been request, at least you give extra lah. For example, oh sebenarnya I boleh buat macam ni, misalnya nak tunjuk sikit skill kan. That's the best thing. Bukannya orang sentiasa akan menggunakan kita, tapi dengan cara yang betul lah. Pasal apa? There's a few number kind of clients you akan nampak nanti. You akan jumpa nanti. Akan ada juga yang client from hell. Tapi there's a few number of client also, they akan appreciate you guys punya works. Okay. One of the thing that I actually have experienced before, saya ada melukis satu storyboard dekat atas kertas tisu tau. This is one of the projects yang tak berapa sukses for the films lah sebenarnya. Tapi it's a very good kind of works and for me lah kan. Pasal apa, the experience that people appreciate our works there. This is one of the things lah. Sebenarnya banyak lagi, tapi this is one of the thing happens to me a few years back. Okay, I discussed with my clients one night dekat McDonald's. So we discuss about the storyboard lah untuk dia punya opening segment, untuk dia punya own title for the company. So bila kita dah buat a few number kind of titles, dia suka. Walaupun dia ada designers, animators daripada India yang boleh buat direct dengan dia dengan the same kind of quality, tapi dia nak juga guna orang Malaysia contohnya. Okay, tapi orang ni India tau, talking ni. So dia kata, okay abang saya nak awak buat satu lagi sampel lah kan. So masa tu saya lukis atas tisu dia. Pasal kita dah bawa sketchbook, tak bawa pad, iPad ke apa kan. So saya lukis atas storyboard tu lah atas tisu je. So bila saya lukis atas tisu, okay, that storyboard, at that same moments, bila dia puas hati, okay, lepas ni abang boleh buat terus saya kat sini, dekat komputer, okay. Dia terus bagi saya cash kat situ. Dia terus bagi cash kat situ tau. Padahal dia dah bayar dah the payment for the first montage yang kita dah create for him. So dia nak tambah another segment for the montage. So dia bagi direct cash kat situ. Bukan 100 atau 200 ringgit tau, okay? A few numbers of thousand lah kat situ. Dan banyak juga. So at that time, okay, itu kadang-kadang benda tu boleh berlaku pada you guys in the future. Kita tak tahu. Okay, bila kita ada the certain kind of skills that orang appreciate, then the client itself have the money and is very serious on investing himself to that project. Cuma project tu tak sukses pasal dia salah pilih tema, salah pilih genre untuk that kind of films lah at that times. Pasal benda tu mungkin dah outdated sikit. Yeah. There's kind of things that happens. So the client itself ada duit dan dia memang boleh ni. Dan baru-baru pun berlaku juga pada saya benda ni, tapi bukan benda yang sama lah. The client will top up a little bit on our amount based on the initial punya amount yang ada, dia top up lagi. Pasal dia tahu we can do the jobs. So benda ni akan berlaku pada you in the future. We never know. Dan you akan dapat juga lah pada benda yang akan challenging a little bit. People are going to be use you sometimes, okay, will test you a little bit, and ada yang tikam belakang apa benda semua tu biasa berlaku dalam industri. In business also the same, dalam kerja pun sama ada. So jangan risau benda tu Tapi yang penting how actually you get it yourself, you cater yourself, you improve yourself as a person to develop your skill together. Because each one of you guys, kita ada 16 orang kat sini kan, 17 orang kat sini, I think. 17 kan lebih kurang. So how actually you as individual to develop yourself from there. Itu yang paling penting. Because everyone have their own unique way to approach your works in the futures. It doesn't mean that Luman ke Irfan ke atau Akila has their own kind of skills that can be developed as a part of their professional kind of way in the futures. Tapi it doesn't mean that Rabiatul, Syazurin, Ismail, Shantini, Huin, right, Amirul, and each one of you guys, Husnul Khatimah, okay, Jamin there, okay, Huin is another students there from other universities. Okay, Jamin, okay, Aisha doesn't have that kind of special quality that the clients might going to be interested on your works. So you have to seek for it as individuals and also as a team kind of efforts of working. So benda tu kena ada dalam diri setiap animator, setiap practitioner, setiap what we call that visualizers. Okay. So those are the things there. Be more flexible, be more diversified on your skill at the same times, and prepare a certain kind of way to approach your works in the futures. Jangan stick for one style, for one purpose or one kind of objective only. Kan? Siapa pasal kita tak akan dapat the same kind of projects all the times. And you have to basically be more versatile lah. That's the most important thing. Okay. So I think that's it basically mukadimah untuk our this week 5 that basically. So kalau kita tengok balik kan, okay dekat sini. Okay, kalau macam Syazurin sekarang ni, bila kita tengok, she tried to adapt a few number kind of methods there kan. Dan nampak kalau daripada sudut drawings using the layerings, alright, you dah mula nampak dia punya line, stroke semua tu, okay. Dia punya dynamic kind of line, the quality of line together. Tapi this one basically when we using a reference, okay. Tapi it's a good thing there, okay. You boleh practice your hands, the movement itself. Itu yang paling penting. Tapi in terms of the quality of line still kena develop more. Pasal apa kalau you tengok kat sini kan, in drawing ke-8 so dia punya quality of line is not very consistent. In terms of muscle toning, muscle kind of shape structures also tak very impressive basically. Okay. So dia tak nampak the kind of form of structures, that line drawings that will gather a part of those connections between the muscles and the anatomy itself. Benda ni nampak macam a few number kind of line yang kalau saya nampak macam is to basically look like tracings or copying there, rather than you understand the anatomy kind of forms from the structure itself. Benda tu tak nampak kat sini Kalau kita tengok that kind of forms, comparing to this one, the first one, okay, kita boleh nampak lah that kind of structures there and that kind of muscle connections when you draw them. Kalau macam ni tak nampak So consistency tu tak ada lagi lah, okay. So secara mungkin masa ni you dah boring ke, you dah penat ke, kita tak tahu, okay. Lose of focus kan, macam ni. The outline itself tak nampak kan, the structure. Atau ini the first drawing, saya tak tahu, okay. So you need to have that kind of consistency sebenarnya setiap kali dalam lukisan. Itu yang paling penting. Sebab kalau tak ada, nanti you lukis subjek matter lain dah lain jadi dia. Okay, dia punya confidence level dah lagi dah. So kena ada consistency dalam drawing tu, dalam penghasilan drawing atau lukisan tu. So that's how actually you can improve more further on your drawing skill lah. So that kind of things happens normally, okay. Macam ni, kita tengok Aisyah ni kan, okay. There's certain way basically nampak lah dia punya confidence, tapi dia punya, this is the line of actions, but this is not the line of action, this is basically a stroke line. Kita nak tengok the line of action dia, okay. Tapi nampak lah dia punya confidence, ada confidence. Cuma kita tak pasti how far the confidence will be to grow from here, because this is basically based on drawing on the layering. Kalau setengah kata, oh ni tracing kan. So kita tak tahu sejauh mana Aisyah ni punya confidence, okay, when they draw. Tapi nampak macam ada lah confidence kat sini. Tapi kita tak pasti, okay. Tapi nampak ada dia punya cahaya-cahaya of confidence tu ada lah kan. Ada kat sini sikit. So benda ni kena keep on practicing guys, okay. Benda ni bukannya setahun, 1 or 2 semester you actually can improve on your lines ni. With certain half line tak ada continuity lah, tak ada very continuity, tak ada very firm kind of line yang kita boleh adapt kat sini kan. So kalau you tengok I punya drawings, okay, and based on this one, tiba-tiba ada misai pula ni kan, tengok ni. Okay. So you need to have that kind of focus lah, okay, on those kind of line works at the same times. Alright. So line putus-putus macam ni. Kadang line putus-putus ni pun bahaya juga. Okay. Bila line putus ni nampak macam kita tak confidence tau. That's basically one of the things that we have to remember when you draw. Okay. Macam okay, Al-Abbas kan. Okay, kita nampak lah kan ada improvement from the second and the third punya drawing exercise, punya line stroke dengan ni. Okay. Tapi kita tak tahu kan, macam ni kita tengok nampak dia macam tak confident balik. Okay. Kita boleh baca that kind of drawings. Okay, bila kita tengok the whole drawings itself, kita boleh tengok ada certain part dia is not very sure, but certain areas very quite nice lah on the stroke itself. Okay, when they draw basically the kind of line of strokes ni, nampak confidence lah. Tapi how far basically Abbas can actually maintain that kind of stroke confidence lines, okay, macam ni lah. Nampak kan? They hesitate a little bit. Kita bukan nak satu line to stroke tu betul-betul sharp saja, tapi kita boleh nampak that hesitations ni. Kan? Whether mungkin masa tu ada gangguan sikit, macam bila kita lukis pun mesti ada gangguan sikit on our what we call that movement itself lah kan, kinetic movement yang ada kan. Tapi we can actually improve lah further from there. And how far do you can actually improve more, okay, on the line work itself right here, on the structures itself. Itu semua kena main peranan saja. Bila kita melukis balik, bila kita design balik our own characters ni. And we develop our own characters from there. Okay. Guys, okay, yang ini Amirul. Okay, Amirul, ini outline ni Amirul. Okay, awak draw outline saja. Okay, bukan gesture line drawing ni. Dan you punya drawing ada hesitation a lot kat sini. Okay. So we not actually study the whole structures in the gestures kind of movements. Tak nampak kat situ. Okay. So kalau kita tengok kat sini sama Amirul. Right. Most of the drawing is the outline. Right? Ini yang kita nak avoid. Dan ini yang we have worried. Okay, based apa? Bila you draw based on the reference, on the layerings, okay lah, champion sebenarnya boleh kita draw on the layers kan. Tapi once you draw on your imaginations, you have to gather all this kind of information of the structure basically back again. Macam ni you nak overcome them back. So benda tu akan bermain challenging, obstacles, hesitations akan bermain kita dalam kita punya minda. So this happens a lot, especially for those who rarely practice their drawing. Okay, you guys rarely practice your drawings, you tengok, you just take it for granted, okay aku belajar ni untuk just pass or just to go through with the lessons only. Okay, when it comes to develop your character, you have to remember, okay, you actually a diploma in animations kan? Diploma kan in animation, right? So even though you're going to work with 3D animations in the futures, it doesn't mean you're going to be succeed if you actually doesn't improve a lot on your foundations right here. Okay, you not draw the pose itself. You tengok kan before this kan, one of the characters that I designed and animate by one of the animators called ulat-ulit macam lava tu. Okay, what are the good thing about that character? Okay, I nak share sedikit balik kan. Bila saya duduk dengan this animator saja, okay, kita ada satu, okay, these characters. Okay, this character kan, masa saya buat benda ni, masa kita develop this kind of characters, kita tak nampak sebenarnya mana-mana reference tentang lava masa tu tau. That one is from 2010 saya rasa. 2009, 2010 lebih kurang macam tu yang kita develop. So masa kita nak develop this character sebenarnya, okay, this character kan, okay, dia punya movement tu, okay, this guy kan yang yellow ni, ulit ni, okay, that animator yang animate these characters yang saya kagum. Sebab apabila saya buat lukisan ni, buat storyboard dia kan, so saya buat that kind of movement, that kind of poses lebih kurang macam ni. Then animator yang handle this character masa tu, disebabkan dia nak dapatkan that kind of posture, gesture kind of pose. Sebab karakter tak ada kaki ni, susah saya nak animate. Dan dia kena have that kind of understanding of that principle very well. Pertama. Kedua, dia kena ada a self of mix the method dengan the technical yang dalam 3D tu. Pasal apa? Bila kita cakap dengan 3D, kalau kita tak mahir dalam penggunaan mix method ni, dalam pose to pose dan juga the arch of what we call that graph editor on those movement kan. Saya dah lupa dia punya nama tu. Kita akan restrict ourselves to animate the characters according to the technical yang ada je. Okay, the features yang ada je dalam that kind of application atau software. Tapi kalau kita ada the mixture of information and understanding kan, kita akan buat lebih daripada apa yang technical atau that kind of features can provide for us. Dia ada dia punya own kind of what we call that way of working sebenarnya kita boleh dapat. So these animators dia draw balik. Okay, dia buka dia punya buku sketch kecil dia draw balik that kind of poses sebenarnya. That kind of things basically as a director, as a what we call that concept kind of what we call that artist at the same time the one who actually responsible to that kind of projects macam saya masa tu kan, akan rasa kagum tau pasal that animator has the efforts to follow basically back-in saya punya flow storyboard. Bila saya dah buat flow storyboard on the movement, even though the expression bila saya draw balik kan, saya buat satu-satu. So the animators, the modeler, they are the efforts untuk do more from what they actually have supposed to do lah. Because they nampak that character has a lively kind of what we call that features that can be exposed more, explore more. So dia buat. So inilah hasilnya sebenarnya kan. Walaupun saya tak tahu lah sama ada ini terbaik untuk awak semua ke tak kan. Tapi that kind of ideas yang saya dapat, okay, dia pusing dan dia flip dan dia handstand kan. dia dapat capture that kind of thing, the animators itself. So ni benda ni penting saya tau. Pasal apa? Your efforts. Ni yang kata gift and extra from what you actually can provide. Kan? Pasal kalau ada animator yang malas ni, dia buat ikut suka lah, okay, gaji lepas buat kerja dia kan. So people doesn't see your potential kat situ. People doesn't see your potential. Tapi yang ni tak silap saya, this animators nama dia Jamal tak silap. Lupa lah, mungkin Jamal lah. Dia budak Terengganu. So dia ada efforts there. So bila saya duduk dengan saya suka duduk dengan animators atau dengan 3D modeler atau environment punya modeler. So bila kita dah buat design, kita akan duduk sekali, kita akan discuss. So that kind of relationship build up together, bukan sekadar kita pergi lepak minum makan. Kadang kita pergi lepak minum makan, diorang tak cakap banyak pun. Okay? Tapi dalam kerja, kita boleh duduk sekali, kita boleh discuss, kita boleh discuss dan cerita tentang macam mana nak buat benda ni lebih baik lagi. Pasal apa? This is something that will show to the world sebenarnya. Orang luar akan tengok tentang benda ni kan. So hasil kerja awak tu. So bila orang tengok hasil kerja awak tu outstanding daripada orang lain, that kind of thing are going to be a bit bonus for you lah. Okay? And you boleh solve that kind of problems in the future kalau you ada a certain kind of obstacles lah for your characters. That kind of things will be, okay, some expressions, okay. So, a lot of things basically yang kita belajar dalam projek misalnya, walaupun it's not that succeed basically to be in the TV stations, tapi we have learned a lot from this project. Okay, we learn a lot of these projects there. Macam mana kita nak break the normal behavior from the animator itself. Kadang animator ni pemalu segan kan. Tapi bila dengan characters, dia boleh give more further, okay, untuk dapatkan that kind of sense of appealing, okay, on the characters, on the presentation itself. Benda tu penting sebenarnya. So that kind of thing happens lah to me kan, okay. You see the animator itself. Kalau dia ada dia punya own kind of self, kind of efforts that he works on that. Okay, this project. Right, untuk dapatkan dia punya selfness, kind of what we call that improvement on the characters build up at the same time. So benda ni tak senang tau, tak mudah tu sebenarnya. Tapi once the animator boleh dapat that kind of what we call that kind of expressions, movements, okay, that kind of what we call that exaggerations, at the same time stress and squash, okay, so the animation become more fun, okay. Even though sebenarnya banyak lagi benda kita boleh improve on this character, dan pada level saya yang develop this design, bila kita buat a few number kind of improvement on the characters, saya dah design few number kind of design back again, okay, untuk make it the characters more dynamic. Cuma kita tak ada peluang lagi untuk develop the characters become the 3D punya version. Okay. Tapi I have a very high hope to develop the characters itself untuk further kind of projects. Mungkin tak guna nama yang sama, tak guna karakter yang sama, tapi it build up basically also my skill back again to design and to animate the characters even though in 2D. So benda tu penting saya guys, okay? Penting untuk kita grow basically our own efforts on that, okay, in those kind of things. So kalau kita nak tengok for this week, okay, to break down for this week, saya nak check balik. Okay, this week punya exercise ni kita nak grow back again our understanding. Check balik sini. Ada orang nak masuk lah. Siapa lagi yang tak ada dalam ni? 17 lebih kurang 16 orang kan. Patutnya lah 16 orang. 15. Maknanya Nadia tak ada dalam ni dia. Okay. Ya, Nadia. Ada tak lagi Nadia dengan Alif tak ada. Kalau bukan dua orang ni dah 2 kali dah ni. Kalau 2 kali tak ada ni, saya kena hantar surat tau. So bahaya juga benda ni. Walaupun you hantar assignments, tapi attendance you tak cover dengan surat rasmi. So saya tak boleh nak buat apa-apa lah situ. Pasal kalau saya tengok dekat Alif ada bagi surat. Okay. Tapi dia tak sihat. Yang lain, okay, saya check balik kan. So far tak ada dekat saya di email. Tapi ada yang bagi dekat saya punya WhatsApp, tolong bagi dekat email balik. Okay? Tolong bagi kat email balik. Pasal benda ni penting ni guys. Okay, kalau macam saya nak share sikit, yang Alif ada bagi surat macam ni. Okay? You buat surat macam ni mana cukup dah kan. Jadi kita dah dapat tahu, okay, you tak boleh datang pasal okay, kurang sihat ke apa ke. So, just sign lah. Korang use ni. Tak susah pun. So, kita maklum lah. Okay. Dan saya boleh lah adjust sikit you punya attendance saja kat situ. Okay, then you hantar assignment at the same time. Benda simple guys. Benda ni. Kan? So, kena ada effort sikit untuk buat lah. Okay. Kadang-kadang bila dah banyak bila zaman teknologi ni kita jadi malas, kadang-kadang macam saya pun sama juga. Benda yang sebenarnya semua depan komputer kita, depan mata kita jadi macam leceh sikit. Saya benda tu tak susah, tak macam dulu kita kena tulis surat balik kan, manual. Lepas tu kena shoot gambar ke apa ke kan, atau hantar by hand. So benda semua on screen. Itu yang paling penting. So after this week, saya akan discuss dengan Cik Bahizal. Saya akan check balik location kita untuk kita buat kelas fizikal for next week. Ada di Bali kan, cuti betul tak? So maknanya sama ada kita kena buat replacement class lepas tu ke tak, tak pasti. Okay, saya akan check balik. Kalau perlu buat, kita akan buat. Kalau tidak, kita akan continue untuk week 7. Okay, week 7. So week 7 basically kalau kita check kat sini, saya check balik. Kalau week 7 basically kita ada assignment. So saya akan post for the new assignment semua. So saya check balik. Maknanya week 6 sebenarnya kita boleh bagi, saya dah boleh start bagi untuk our first, kita akan bagi satu lagi exercise for next week. Okay, satu lagi exercise for next week. Sebelum kita akan pergi ke week 8, our first portfolios atau first projects lah, assignments. Okay, kalau kita tengok sini, tak ada benda ni. Okay, so week 6 kita ada di Bali, tapi saya akan bagi assignment, bagi exercise kat awak. Okay, nak tengok macam mana you draw the anatomies of animals. Okay, so this week basically is a bit anatomies of what we call that macam mana lukis lelaki dengan perempuan sebenarnya. Cuma saya nak tekankan balik pada cara untuk kita membentuk lukisan tu sendiri, okay, drawing tu sendiri. Itu yang paling penting sebenarnya. Okay, pasal rujukan tu kita boleh bagi, cuma kita nak tengok sejauh mana you boleh redraw back again. So kalau kita nak go through, kalau saya nak go through sebenarnya untuk different kind of students yang dah develop that kind of skills. Okay, so you guys boleh belajar balik pada kawan-kawan you guys ni. Contohnya macam, okay, kita tengok Jamin. Husnul. Okay, Irfan. Okay, Lukman. Ada 2 Irfan. Kita tengok dulu. This one from Lukman kan, okay. Okay, kalau tengok drawing Lukman dengan okay. Dengan Amirul kan. Lukman, ini you draw on the layers atau you draw without the layers side by side?
Lukman keluar.
Yeah. Okay, kita boleh tengok, you boleh tengok perbezaan okay. Amirul belajar juga daripada kawan-kawan awak ni. Okay, macam mana dia orang develop. Okay, macam Irfan, macam mana Irfan? Draw daripada layer ke?
Layer atas lah.
Layer atas atau layer bawah? Atas layer lah.
Layer atas.
Okay.
Atas layer.
Layer. Okay, kita tengok macam mana Ni okay, saya ada Husnul Fatimah. New work. Okay. Okay, Amirul. Okay, Amirul. Amirul, awak boleh tengok macam mana kawan awak lukis ni. Walaupun dia, ni lukis pakai video ni time lapse ke atau natural ni?
Saya record macam biasa, lepas tu fast forward kan.
Fast forward kan lah. Okay. Tapi Amirul, awak boleh tengokkan macam mana the line drawings that develop from here. Okay, sama juga macam saya buat nanti. Benda sama juga. Tapi macam mana they gather all these informations, all the structures itself. Benda ni yang saya nak tekan untuk minggu ni lah. Okay, pasal apa nak bagi bantuan sikit pada kawan-kawan kita yang masih tak faham kan. Yang macam tadi kita tengok Syazurin, okay, bila dia draw kan, ada sedikit kekeliruan daripada sudut line works to itself kan, macam ni dia nak gather all those structures, informations, the anatomies, kan, the form itself, benda tu penting sebenarnya. Okay, kita kena faham kat situ. Macam contoh kat sini Lukman dia buat ni, and the outline itself only, tapi tak ada the anatomy kan. Tapi Lukman ni boleh lukis. Okay, kita nak cakap orang yang tak boleh lukis ni, yang ada sikit gangguan daripada sudut kemahiran tu sendiri. Itu yang kita nak kena tekankan sebenarnya. So hopefully macam korang ni semua macam Lukman, Irfan, jangan bosan pasal apa kita kena bantu kawan-kawan kita ni. Dan pasal macam kita yang boleh melukis ni tak ada masalah sebenarnya, boleh tutup mata je sebenarnya. Macam saya, kalau macam saya zaman saya dulu, macam bila kita dapat buat satu benda tu, kita boleh develop that kind of things back again. So kita tak ada masalah tau. Kita tak ada rasa macam risau atau rasa benda tu sebagai satu obstacle atau gangguan untuk kita adapt that kind of exercise sebelum kita buat assignment saja. Tak ada masalah. This is in terms of practice je. Tapi majority kawan-kawan kita yang perlukan bantuan ni, kita kena bantu sikit lah begitu. Kan? So that's why I think pasal apa? Pasal kita tak boleh rely on the group projects. Never relying on our group projects. Walaupun benda tu selalu di-adapt dalam mana-mana assignments, mana-mana practice of uni punya practice of education kan, academic punya terms kan, atau academic punya proses. Tapi as a part of macam drawings and animation itself, we try to develop our individual kind of skills. Itu yang paling penting. Pasal as an animation student, you tak suka background pun you kena belajar lukis background contohnya. You tak suka lukis karakter figure pun you kena lukis karakter figure. You tak suka lukis kartun pun you kena belajar lukis kartun. You tak suka kata anime contohnya, ada orang tak suka anime kan, kena belajar lukis anime. Okay, kena juga belajar tahu cara-cara nak lukis anime dengan betul. Okay, jangan ikut-ikut saja. I nak lukis anime tapi jadi wannabe punya movements kan. Macam dia nak ikut saja tapi dia tak tahu that kind of right methods, especially on the drawing structures and stroke. The gestures is a part of it. Okay, tu benda tu penting. So kita tak nak macam kita so-so jadi je, tak ada. Kita nak build up ourselves to become that kind of particular kind of person who actually can draw. Okay, that certain kind of character or specific characters. Okay, macam Husnul Fatimah, she's got the skill and strokes, tapi saya nak tengok video Lukman pun nak tengok video juga. Okay, Okay, remember okay, send back again the videos. So kita boleh tengok kan macam Husnul Khatimah dia draw on the layer itself. Ni draw on the layer kan? Husnul?
Yes.
Kan? Kita tahu dia boleh melukis lah. Dia boleh control that kind of structures line kan. Tapi bila on in terms of detailing, okay, or draw on the layering, basically backing, kita tak tahu macam mana. So saya nak dapatkan balik adaptation kat sini. Okay, contohnya these characters lah. Okay, these people, this person. So sekarang ni, okay. Let me bring up the basic back again. Alright. So for this week sebenarnya, okay, kalau ikutkan human anatomies, okay, saya check dulu. For reference. Nak belajar lukis human anatomy, tak dapat dah hafal sini. There's a few number kind of structures, okay, styles that we can develop. Okay, setengah orang suka lukis that kind of circle kind of style, okay, very structured, very basic kind of form to develop kan. Benda ni you akan develop back again. Tapi sebelum tu, anatomy is really important. Okay, we actually have been working out before. Okay, kita dah belajar minggu lepas macam mana nak draw based on basically the line of actions kan. Okay, the line of actions. Okay, that basically form basically the structures or the pose itself. Okay, so sekarang ni, let me check. Saya nak go a little bit kind of details lah. A bit of details. Saya nak tunjuk macam mana saya boleh develop basically that kind of areas, informations, okay, before we're going to draw the whole structures. Walaupun kita tak guna that static kind of postures, standing kind of postures, tapi dengan reference ni kita nak analyse them back. Okay, kita nak analyse them back. Okay. Kita nak analyse that elements back again. Macam tadi kita tengok siapa? Syazurin, okay, contohnya. Okay, dia draw kadang line kan, kena ni tebal. Okay, ni tebal kan. Okay, adjust the size, tebal. Ini nipis kan. Sini nipis, macam ni contohnya. Tiba-tiba macam ni. Okay. Tapi dia tak ada consistency tau. Okay. Kenapa dia kena buat macam ni? Kerana dia draw ni kan, tiba ada pula macam ni. Contohnya lah contoh. Okay. Tak ada consistency tau, dia tak tahu kenapa dia buat benda ni. Betul tak Syazurin? Apa yang saya assume ni? Bila you draw. Macam you tak tahu kat mana, kenapa you kena buat benda ni. Ada pula benda ni line macam ni kan. Betul tak? Syazurin ni sini. Tak ada? Ada kan? Okay. Okay. You tak tahu kan? Okay. Rasa macam kenapa aku kena buat benda ni kan? So, sebenarnya okay, human anatomy muscle ni kita kena faham. Ini you boleh tengok juga dekat banyak rujukan yang ada. Mungkin saya akan share dengan you guys a few PDF punya buku lah. Okay? PDF punya buku I bagi you free je benda tu. Pasal dapat pun daripada online juga. So I akan bagi you guys untuk just rujukan. Kalau you rajin nak buka lah. Okay, sebenarnya bila kita draw that contour line, bila kita study the contour line sebenarnya, kita akan study the whole line structure sebenarnya. Okay, the whole line structure sebenarnya. Tapi kenapa kita buat that kind of line jadi macam very jagged macam ni kan? Pasal dia based on the form itself, the shapes that yang kita draw sebenarnya. Macam ni kita kena draw consistent sikit lah. Okay. Tapi kita kena draw and control and belajar to control the outline. Okay, the line that we actually form together. Okay, yang ni shadow line kan. So saya buat nipis sikit. Ni sebenarnya hairline. Kalau kita tengok tu ada hairline kat situ. Okay. Ada hairline kat situ. Dan hairline ni kita boleh buat jagged a little bit. Based pada form ni. Tak payahlah draw macam ni. Okay. Kita draw sikit dan jagged line tu. This basically bila kita belajar the form of line drawings masa the first semester dulu, dia ada tau macam okay, the scribble line, lepas tu ada jagged line, ada zigzag line kan, lepas tu ada cross hatching line kan. Semua benda ni kita boleh guna masa kita buat contour line saja, tapi depends daripada. Pasal contour line drawings macam saya buat sekarang ni, okay, ni adalah dia punya eyebrow kan. So saya continue balik kita draw. Kita kena look carefully, kena tengok betul-betul dekat drawing. Macam ni saya akan apply balik pada apa yang saya faham, kefahaman saya lah. Okay, kefahaman saya bila saya melukis mata tu, kadang-kadang orang tak nampak benda ni kan. Bila orang tak nampak dan dia tak dapat nak adapt that kind of ideas of how to draw those eyes, dia akan draw macam ni tau. Dia akan draw macam ni. Ada setengah buku-buku drawing, dia akan draw this kind of outline macam ni. Saya ada beli dulu masa zaman muda dulu, zaman remaja saya dulu. Saya ada beli satu buku drawing. Dia, Mak Saleh ni buat, dia akan ajar kita. Saya tengok macam mana dia boleh buat drawing this kind of line. Tapi masa tu manual tau. Dia buat manual, mungkin dia tracing. Tracing pakai light box. So, dia akan tunjuk dia punya line drawing tu macam ni. Okay. Kita akan nampak dia punya line drawing tu very neat macam ni. Okay, dia akan tackle the shape itself. Then dia akan colour balik based on the shapes. Itu one of the method yang you guys kena belajar. Sekarang macam saya cakap, zaman teknologi ni, you punya own tablets, pressure point you boleh dapat dengan baik masa you melukis. The challenging that you have to actually to overcome itself is basically macam mana you nak improve your punya drawing skill, you punya pressure kind of strokes. Itu yang paling penting. Dan kefahaman dalam develop that kind of understanding on to draw itself and control the pressure. Okay, katalah macam ni, ada a few areas yang nampak macam jarang-jarang sikit kan pada dia punya hairline kan. Kita boleh draw balik. Okay. Pasal the physically of anatomies, ini shadow dia. Lepas tu logically kat mana dia punya kepala, dia punya hair. Rambut dia mesti kat sini tau. Masa you draw, try to study basically that kind of areas. Benda ni nampak macam remeh tau. Macam setengah orang yang boleh melukis. Alah, ini dia aku nak melukis. Tak senang tau kalau you tak ada skills basically to draw and control the pressure as well. Benda ni bukan senang tau. Tapi this is basically the thing that can develop back again your understanding slowly. Okay. Dan orang tak nampak benda tu macam, aku kena belajar benda ni ke? Tak perlu aku belajar the structures macam saya akan tunjuk nanti. Okay, draw that kind of circle, basic shapes there to understand. Ya, you boleh belajar lah benda tu. Tapi masalahnya, sekarang ni, you punya line works, okay, macam ni, the muscle connection between the, what we call that, the shoulders itself kan. Saya lukis based pada shoulder, pada muscle connections form yang ada dekat sini. Okay. Bukannya saya saja lukis tau. Bukan saya lukis tiba-tiba ada vine kat sini. Okay. So the shape itself that we design, that we develop, that based on the shadow that form from that anatomies. Tengok. Continuity is there. Walaupun saya angkat sikit pencil lah untuk lukis. Tapi when we study back again, this is the shadow areas. Kalau nak rendering pun boleh sikit. Then we start to draw that detail on the finger kan. Orang tak faham, dia tak lukis benda ni. Dia tak nampak benda tu. So kita nak practice our hands in order to understand these areas. Okay, we are going to go through back again, even though we're going to do assignment for week 8 nanti. So week 7, hopefully we can meet up. Saya akan test balik you punya drawing skills manually tau. Masa tu hopefully we can see more further on details lah. So kalau you nampak gambar macam ni, bila kita bagi gambar kat you guys, sebagai contoh sekarang ni kan, kena study and focus back again pada gambar tu. Okay, practice pada gambar tu balik. Okay, macam mana aku nak solve this kind of problem of shadow? Basically the shadow that form based on the skeleton. Okay, the skeleton, the skull itself. Ni skull ni gigi dia. Kalau you study that kind of areas, this is basically the skull. Okay, the skull itself. Kalau you tak nampak benda macam ni, this is based on imaginations lah. Tapi imaginations that came from my understanding there. Okay, this is basically the spine, kan? Trachea ke apa ke benda ni kat sini. So you boleh tengok, I try to develop basically the skull, skeleton, the skull yang ada dekat dalam muka tu, based on the shadow itself. Based on the shadow itself. So benda-benda macam ni adalah one of the way basically you can actually develop back again you punya kind of sense of understanding when you draw. Other than try to continue back again to get the right kind of muscle connection and structures, okay, when you draw. Okay. Macam tadi bila kita tengok Syazudin try to draw the line over here macam fine, you know. Saya ingat you nak draw basically that what we call that the bone kan, dekat tangan ni. Okay. Kalau you study the bone itself boleh lah. Okay, tapi tak perlulah sampai tahap tu. Tapi kalau you nak buat as a part of your understanding and knowledge, memang bagus. Okay, memang bagus. Cuma kita tak go further from there pasal saya nak fokus on your line drawing saja. Yang penting. Okay. Okay, Luman, mana Luman? Pergi tandas tadi. Okay. So, minggu ni saja saya nak tengok balik macam mana you boleh bila kita buat drawing that kind of line, kat sini outline and this is outline. So, sekarang ada muscle connection kat sini kan, dia punya muscle of the bone structure dekat shoulders, okay. So benda tu sebenarnya adalah main peranan penting bila you develop your kind of gestures line and drawing line at the same time. Kita go for detail a little bit, okay. Go for detail. Kalau you rasa susah bagi tahu atau you rasa tak faham bagi tahu, this bone line structure sebenarnya inilah yang sebenarnya yang kita buat sebenarnya roughly dekat kita punya what we call that line of action kat sini kan. Sebenarnya this is the right kind of line of actions lah. Okay, the spine itself kat sini. Okay, so the spine, we draw the spine and then the shadow itself. Okay, I draw the shadow line roughly together basically the information kat sini untuk develop that kind of anatomy back again. Bukannya kita saja lukis tau. Kita saja lukis pattern, that kind of pattern save people ada kan. It's all based on the shadows that form to the body, to the reference. Okay, kat sini. Sama juga. Draw you nampak the shape kat sini, the areas ni kalau you tak nampak as a normal punya what we call that visions, we have to see further based on our artistic visions there. Sebenarnya there is a shapes of circle kat sini yang develop that kind of shapes of these areas, okay, these areas there. So that's why basically we draw the gestures line kadang-kadang ada that kind of shapes. Pasal this is basically the shapes that can make the body can be rotated, the physical or the legs, okay, the joining can be rotated, okay, as a person lah, okay. So kita study benda tu balik. So kat sini sebenarnya ada satu circle shapes that can be rotated together, okay. This one basically came from cylinders, okay. Kita akan break down a little bit nanti. So this one basically there's a cylinders kat sini. Okay, there's a cylinder kat sini, shapes, circle. Macam kalau you tengok balik this kind of drawings become macam cyborg sikit, robot kan. That's basically what we try to develop lah. Bukan kita develop robot, tapi we want to what we call that modify basically the thing that we saw naturally from the reference into the shapes, break down into the shapes there. Okay, this part. Break down into shape into, okay, kalau kaki ni ada 3 parts that we actually can develop, okay, as a shapes. Tapi kita nak buat dalam bentuk gestures line and contour line drawing sebenarnya. Okay, kalau kita tengok balik sini. Bukan saja buat that kind of line tau. I referring on the shapes of the shadows. referring the shape of the shadows there. And the line has to be continuous at the same time. Okay. Dekat sini pun sama juga sebenarnya. Ada cylinders. Tapi I guna untuk this very subtle kind of gestures line and control line at the same time. Okay, this is the cylinders there. Kalau tengok cylinders dia, kalau ada proper shape macam ni lah. Okay. This is dia punya siku and this is your arm kan. Okay. So this one. Bukan saya saja buat that kind of shape sound. That form, the muscle that form basically the structures from here will develop that kind of areas of line. Dia akan mempengaruhi garisan yang kita nak buat nanti. See? Kalau buat slow-slow, draw slow-slow akan jadi macam ni lah. Berapa tangan ni? Ada 3 sorry. Katanya ada 3, 4, 5. Okay, silap sikit. Alright. Kalau you tengok balik, the whole drawings yang saya develop ni kan, it's all based on the reference ni. Apa yang kita nampak dekat dalam reference, itu yang kita lukis balik. Dan kita go for detailing. Okay, we go for detailing. Pasal saya sentuh balik this kind of drawing sebab saya nampak banyak kekeliruan dan mungkin ada beberapa sikit kelemahan yang ada dalam sahabat-sahabat kita ni punya drawing yang kita patut develop back again lah. Okay. Macam this is shadows line kan. Saya buatlah shadows line kat sini kadang. Boleh je. Tak ada masalah. Kita nak improve our line drawing at the time what we draw. Apa yang kita nak lukis ni ada sebab dia. Okay. Sebab dia saya tunjuk tadi kan. Kenapa saya lukis beberapa bentuk mengikut shadow, mengikut shapes of the structures dalam reference tu sendiri. Pasal apa? Kalau traditionally, kalau kita nak nampak benda ni on the layer, susah. Okay, susah sebenarnya kita nak study back again. So kita use this advantage of these drawings to work on that back again. Ya, Nadia there, okay. Selamat pagi. Boleh Nadia. Sebenarnya boleh. Tapi messy line yang kita buat ni bukannya saja-saja kita just nak buat ni macam messy lah, macam tak tentu arah tau. Dia adalah bergantung kepada the form, the structure dan the flow yang ada dalam anatomy tu sendiri. Kalau you buat animal atau binatang haiwan pun sama juga. Benda yang sama akan berlaku dalam pergerakan dalam garisan tu. So benda ni sebenarnya untuk practice balik kita punya hands, kita punya cara kita melukis dan handle kita punya stroke tu. Okay. So Nadia, nanti lah saya kena make the attendance back in nanti. Okay. Alif ada Alif? Alif ke Afiq? Afiq Afiq tak ada lagi tak sampai ke? Afiq ada. Alif Alif. Okay. So guys, tu yang paling penting guys, okay. Sebenarnya kita nak practice balik our line drawing itself. Sebab apa? Okay. Ini salah satu contoh yang saya boleh buat. Okay. Kalau kita draw and practice our line itself. Benda ni sebenarnya nampak macam comparing saya punya messy line, the whole structure itself, dengan yang ada tadi dekat kawan-kawan kita tadi. Okay. Macam contohnya this is Husnul Fatimah. Okay, dengan ni. Contohnya lah. Okay. Amirul tadi. Amirul, nampak Amirul So, you buat tadi outline saja tau. Okay, macam Amirul buat. Okay. Even though the line of action pun salah ni, nampak? Amirul. Line of action pun salah ni, benda ni. Okay. Kalau line of actions for that drawings, kita check balik. Okay, perempuan ni kan. Okay, kalau study balik kan, this kind of drawings. Okay, reduce sikit. You buat tadi macam ni tau, dia punya line of action tidur macam ni. Ini apa ni? Tak betul tu. Tengok dia punya backbone. This is the line of action. Okay. Ini dia. Draw betul-betul balik Tapi dapatkan dia punya strokes tu. Dan yang paling penting bukannya tebal nipis macam ni. Okay. Dapatkan dia punya strokes tu. Okay, the quality of line when you draw them. Okay. Then break down a little bit on the neck punya alignment dengan dia punya hips lah. Okay, kat sini hips dia. After that, okay, bila you draw tadi kan, save dulu files. Okay, you draw the outline macam ni. Dan you punya line macam ni. Betul tak Mirul? Macam ni.
Betul saya.
Kan? Kenapa you buat macam ni?
Saya hesitate.
Hesitate kan? Takut rasa kan? Betul tak betul aku buat ni betul lah kan? This is not the gestures line yang kita nak ni. Ini adalah tracing line. Salah satu tracing line yang orang selalu buat. Orang selalu buat selalu macam ni. Dia hesitate tau. Dia takut-takut, dia malu-malu kan. Dia betul aku buat ni kan. This is the thing that kita kena avoid, okay? Salah semua orang kalau siapa-siapa yang belum lukis game macam ni ke kan. Ini sebenarnya benda yang kita nak avoid. Saya cakap banyak kali dah. Okay? Dan mana-mana student bukan awak saja. Ramai student saja. Dekat college-college lain, universiti lain pun sama juga. Yang bila dia start belajar kan dia akan draw punya outline. Ini sebenarnya kita kena avoid guys. Okay? Tolong jangan lukis macam ni. Kalau awak nak pandai, nak mahir dalam melukis, nak practice awak punya drawing, jangan melukis macam ni. Okay? Jangan hesitate. Pen ni takkan gigit awak. Dia takkan bunuh awak pun sebenarnya. Okay? Sebenarnya, alright. So, jangan risau. Kita control dia sebenarnya. Cuma you kena practice more dan be patient lah. Sabarlah sikit. Okay? So, ini kita kena elakkan. Hesitation macam ni. Even though when you draw, basically the drawing nanti, macam kita, bila kita kena draw the hair kan, kadang orang lukis macam ni tau. Dia tak tahu apa dia buat sebenarnya. Ini salah satu behavior juga sebenarnya. One of the normal behavior. Dia akan draw macam ni. Okay. Dia tak tahu apa dia buat sebenarnya. Kadang-kadang kan tiba-tiba ada mata pula dia macam ni. Tiba-tiba ada mata macam ni. Dia buat karakter dia balik. Tu dah silap tu. Ni kadang-kadang dia lukis B. Dia bentuk 3, B. Macam tu. Dia tak tahu apa dia buat tau. Benda ni berlaku sebenarnya. Nampak macam, ada ke? Memang ada. Pasal apa? Kita tak adapt that kind of mentality. Kita tak twist our mentality from the natural kind of looks yang kita nampak obviously with our naked eyes dengan the element of design, the element of principle of design sendiri. Sebenarnya apa yang kita buat semua ni adalah kita try to adapt that principle of design. Okay, principle of drawing, design, the element of design macam line, shape, textures, color, form, value. Okay, that kind of things sebenarnya kita apply on our drawings. Macam setengah kata aku nak draw manga je, aku nak draw full figures kan. Tapi apa benda yang kita draw sebenarnya? Okay, macam ni kita nak elaborate balik bila orang tanya apa yang kau buat ni? Aku draw realistic sebenarnya contohnya kan. Itu ayat layman tau. Tapi kalau you nak nampak pandai sikit, sebenarnya aku draw realistic that based from element of design. Okay, element of design. Okay, that combined with principle of design together. Bila aku lukis ni, apa benda kau cakap ni kan? So kalau you nak try to educate people or nak goreng sikit orang kan, macam orang tengok okay awak pandai melukis ke, atau lukisan awak tak cantik ke, atau contohnya macam janganlah cerita pasal benda ni dengan drawing macam ni kan. Contohnya macam drawing ni lah, okay. Orang tengok orang luar tengok kan, apa kau buat ni contoh-contoh macam ni kan. Macam Nadia tanya, oh ni boleh lah messy-messy ke sir? Okay, that messiness that you actually try to apply will based from what? Okay, kalau orang tanyalah, apa korang belajar lukis ni kan? Lukis macam ni, macam conteng-conteng macam ni kan. So nak jawab secara akademik sikit, nampak macam educated sikit kan. You guys boleh jawab tau. Sebenarnya kita orang belajar melukis dan melihat dengan betul melalui kombinasi elemen dengan principle of design. Principle of design. Apa benda tu? Jawab panjang kan. Dia tak, kalau orang biasa dia akan jawab je, aku lukis ni, lukis ni pakai apa, ikut punya garisan juga kan. Aku try dapatkan dia punya stroke ni. Itu je dia cerita tak habis. Okay, dia cerita tak habis. So kita kena jawab panjang sikit lah. Nampak macam, aku ni belajar ni. Okay, aku ni belajar ni sebenarnya ni. Kan? So cara macam tu sebenarnya kita nak menjawab. Okay, macam Jamin, okay, Shanti ni kan. Everyone lah. Jawab dengan betul lah, dengan betul. So bila kita jawab dengan betul, orang akan nampak ni belajar lain ni. Kan? Kalau diorang macam pelekehkan ke, apalah kau jawab susah kan, okay, macam conteng ni, memanglah kau nampak macam conteng. Tapi aku belajar sekarang ni tentang element of design, quality of line. Bila kita goreng banyak benda macam tu, kan, kita belajar tentang continuity, tentang synchronization, tentang kontras, kita kadar banding, kita tentang we call that the garisan tebal dan nipis, okay, quality of line itself, okay, thick and thickness of line. So that kind of thing, bila kita jawab dengan betul, belajar lagi, kita belajar jawab dengan betul macam tu, orang akan nampak perbezaan budak yang belajar dekat universiti dengan orang yang dekat luar tu yang just tahu saja untuk melukis kan. Tapi bila cakap dengan orang luar dengan bahasa pasar lah, okay? Macam saya pun sama juga, bila saya bercakap dengan orang-orang yang tak faham tentang apa yang kita buat ni untuk belajar, kita tak jawab lah macam tu. Tapi kalau kita nak tunjuk sikit supaya dia orang tak pelekehkan kita, okay, nampak sikit educated kan, so kena belajar jawab dengan betul lah guys, okay. So macam Nadia, okay, ini messy line rasa, yes, it's a messy line, that based from where, okay, you jawab sikit macam tu, okay, tanya sikit atau elaborate sikit macam tu, kita kena dapatkan that quality of line biasa contohnya kan, okay. So try to adapt that kind of way of approach and also explain about your work sebenarnya kalau yang nak jawab dalam presentation pun benda sama juga, okay. Kita akan bermain dengan that kind of element dengan principle of design. Sama juga macam animation. Kalau you present on your animations in the future, okay, sebenarnya pensyarah you akan tanya benda tu juga, akan tengok benda tu juga. You adapt that kind of principle animation, okay, that kind of things. Okay, in terms of visual itself, you buat anime ke, manga ke, atau any kind of styles ke, that kind of appealing came from those character or design. Benda tu adalah luaran sebenarnya. Tapi bila you animate the characters, they come with that kind of principles. Even though dalam design pun, you bila design, you akan dapat kat benda tu juga. Orang akan tengok juga that kind of element and principle of design back again. Whether you punya design ni the appealing that based on that kind of principle or not. Okay, dia cantik pasal apa? Bukan pasal kombinasi color dia contohnya. You cakap tentang combination color kan. Kita cakap pasal saya guna color ni bukan kombinasi color yang saya gunakan. Okay. Dalam memperagakan atau dalam halusi sebenarnya elemen-elemen color panas dan color sejuk sekali dalam you punya design. Contohnya lah, okay, warm eco color kan. So saya guna color orange atau color magenta atau color yellow basically, or red, merah atau maroon, okay, atau primary color, secondary color for example kan, untuk dapatkan kombinasi yang tepat yang betul dalam saya punya design. Okay, contohnya cakap macam tu lah. Benda ni kena practice lah, okay, kena practice. Okay, supaya orang nampak you as a ASWARA punya student tak cakap bahasa pasar je masa present. Okay, saya pernah dapat dulu masa saya tengok, saya rasa dalam 20 tahun lepas kot. Okay, masa tu saya pun muda lagi kan. The student bila present, pasal saya suka lah cikgu, saya suka dengan color ni. Bila kita tanya kenapa awak suka, pasal saya suka lah. Itu bukan cara yang betul tu untuk jawab. Okay, itu kalau dengan kanak-kanak boleh lah. Ya, dengan budak-budak, dengan kanak-kanak ke, dengan adik-adik kecil awak boleh lah cakap tu. Dan saya suka kan, atau you malah nak jawab kan. Atau dengan boyfriend ke, dengan girlfriend ke, tengah marah kan. Saya suka lah. Kan, contohnya tu kan. Saya suka lah benda ni. Saya suka. Okay. Tapi sebenarnya dalam cara yang betul untuk present, okay, kita jawab dengan betul. Okay. Jawab dengan betul. Okay, supaya nampak sebenarnya awak punya ilmu tu, awak belajar tu bukannya awak buat assignment lukis je. Okay. Tapi awak try to analyse back again the ideas behind your actions. Kenapa you develop that kind of drawings ni. Okay. Macam saya nak tanya sikit kan, contoh macam okay Luqman, kenapa awak lukis macam ni? Kenapa line dia pecah-pecah tu? Contohnya lah kan, okay? Kenapa awak lukis cara macam ni? Kenapa awak interpret that kind of design dengan that kind of ideas, dengan strokes sebegini rupa macam ni? Kenapa? Teman? Boleh jawab tak?
Ya, saya.
Boleh jawab tak?
Saya soalan di channel tadi.
Okay, kenapa awak lukis that kind of line, that gestures line macam ni?
Macam ni?
Kenapa awak develop that kind of line macam ni? Boleh explain sikit?
Apa maksud saya macam ni?
Yalah, awak try to develop that kind of drawing kan? For this gestures line exercise. Okay, based on the contour line dengan apa dengan that kind of line of actions. Tapi kenapa you choose this kind of line works for your drawings methods for these presentations?
That one I think memang my drawing method kalau buat macam yang 3 minutes punya sketches.
Okay.
I think I'm always gonna use this kind of line work.
Line work macam ni lah. Okay. Kenapa dia kind of drawings ada certain line works nampak very consistent on the strokes, very solid. Tapi ada setengah tu you bila draw kan, ada sikit macam loose sikit.
I think that one because of my developing sensitivity kot.
Sensitivity on those drawing lah. Okay. Other than that, boleh you adaptkan balik, you boleh explain balik in terms of principle of design tak kat dalam ni?
Principle of design.
Apa yang you apply dalam ni?
Okay, I apply I think garisan and then
That's an element of design, principle.
Principle yang mana satu kan?
Okay, principle ni macam balance, depth of field,
harmonic
contrast, okay.
I think ada irama pergerakan.
Okay, flows kan. Okay, flows itself. Okay, even though certain areas nampak loose a little bit, jump a little bit kan. Tapi itulah. Sebenarnya saya tanya ni bukan apa pun. Saya just nak test dan supaya kawan-kawan kita pun akan ada awareness bila you draw some things. Okay, when you do some things, you try to adapt that kind of understanding lah, okay guys, okay. Saya bukan nak test apa pun, bukan nak saja nak usik Luqman apa tak ada, tapi kita nak bagi contoh lah, okay. Contoh macam mana kalau one of you guys will present your works in the futures, okay. Try to adapt that kind of understanding, okay. Elemen dengan prinsipal, okay. Mana kita nak bezakan. Benda ni biasalah macam kalau macam dalam orang Islam ni, kata apa, contohnya rukun Islam, okay. Imam contohnya kan, rukun berpuasa, okay. Contohnya macam tu lah, okay. Kita nak ingat balik kan. Tapi bila kita dah faham, sebenarnya benda tu tak masalah. Dalam element of design dengan principle of design pun sama juga. Okay, benda ni takes time for us to adapt. Macam saya pun sebenarnya pun ambil masa juga masa saya belajar dulu. Dan even though masa saya belajar dan saya kerja pun saya try to adapt balik, dapat recap balik all this kind of information back again lah. Okay. So benda tu at least ada dalam kita punya diri. Bila kita nak explain something for our works, kita boleh explain that kind of understanding based from that kind of principle, that kind of theory itself. So orang akan nampak kita faham lah tentang apa yang kita buat. Selain pada kita ada skills. Okay. Itu yang penting juga, okay guys. So belajar untuk adapt all that kind of understanding at the same time kan. Macam contoh, macam kita boleh nampak macam contoh macam Irfan pun sama juga kan. Certain kind of areas line dia tengok kan, okay, dia emphasize on the strokes itself tapi ada certain very loose a little bit kan. So in a way to explain back again, okay, in the futures mungkin Irfan boleh explain also that kind of things there, okay, because we can see basically we can see the skills, okay, tapi we want to see basically how far you understand about what you're doing when you explain them back again. Itu je yang penting. Sebenarnya benda tak susah tu, kita just adapt back again that kind of environments. Sebenarnya bagus hopefully when you guys actually have been duduk dalam that kind of environment dekat ASWARA tu, dekat the same building, okay, and you bercampur juga dengan pensyarah, hopefully lah kan, dengan kawan-kawan, dengan senior you, hopefully you can get that kind of vibes. Saya tak tahulah zaman sekarang macam mana budak-budak sekarang, mungkin dia jumpa senior, dia jumpa ni, dia cerita pasal bakti ke apa ke, and game je kan. Tapi hopefully that's that kind of thing. Macam you pergi, okay, you ada kelas tarian contoh, okay, you ada kelas lakonan ke contoh kan, you kena ambil semua benda ni. Kalau you punya pensyarah bercakap bahasa-bahasa seni ni, cuba capture back again, cuba adapt back again, cuba belajar boleh. So bahasa-bahasa ni semua you cuba belajar boleh. Sebenarnya benda ni kena praktiskan lah. Macam saya pun sendiri pun kadang-kadang bila dah duduk dekat luar, dia bercampur dengan orang luar sebenarnya, kita jadi macam out of balance lebih lah. Macam kita akan balik-balik. Saya tak ada masalah sebenarnya kan. Cuma kalau you tengok kadang macam pensyarah-pensyarah you, profesor macam orang-orang lama ni kan, bila dia bercerita, dia akan ada dia punya lenggok, dia ada punya etik dia sendiri kan. Macam saya pun sekarang kadang-kadang bila dekat social media saya belasah je. Pasal kita tak nak terlampau nampak macam educated atau akademik sangat. Tapi ada certain times kita boleh twist lah basically back in our way of working, of our way of explanation at the same time. Macam contoh yang saya cuba buat, bila saya explain pada Aisyah 2-3 hari lepas tentang what we call that, the reason why we actually do this exercise ni benda kan. So kita try to adapt back again, okay, explanations, okay, ikut kepada kata apa, tema-tema yang ada dalam pembelajaran tu sendiri. So benda tu penting lah guys, okay, bukan just kita belajar. Kalau you nak belajar just melukis saja dekat luar berlambak, dekat YouTube berlambak, okay, belajar melukis saja, okay, melukis dengan betul, dengan hebat ke apa kan, okay, tiru balik apa semua. Tapi try to explain, learn to explain back again. Itu yang extra yang you ada, selain pada you develop slowly your skills, tapi you adapt basically back again your understanding on explaining your kind of methods tadi. Okay, kalau macam ni kita balik kita balik kat sini. Okay, this kind of drawing tak betul. Hopefully you guys don't make any mistakes back again. So this week kita tengok balik. Okay, this kind of drawings kan, bila kita draw, kalau nak bagi a little bit more further, normally when we draw this kind of, we want to break down the shapes itself kan. I can break down the shape itself macam ni. Okay, the shape itself, okay, guna circles. Tapi saya tak nak lukis secara macam very fine kind of line lah. Okay, saya nak draw using the drawing line itself. Okay, so saya akan break down into this kind of shapes there. Triangle. Okay, triangle. This is basically, okay, the eyes itself, the eye socket kat sini kan. Tapi bila dia close, jadi kat sini itulah. Breakdown itself there. The shapes of the lips. Okay. Kalau kita nak break down a little bit. So benda ni pun is a part of those understanding when we draw and develop the ideas. Ni the shapes of those ears. Kalau orang biasa tengok dia akan draw macam ni je, betul tak? Okay? Atau dia akan draw macam ni. Jadi B macam ni. Tapi when we break down the shapes, break down the shape first. Okay? And I break down the shapes over here. Orang tak nampak benda tu kan? Tapi this is how actually I break down a bit. Banyak cara untuk melukis ears ni, okay? Sometimes we can break down a bit like that. The thing that we saw in front of us doesn't mean are going to be accurate when we break down the shape untuk belajar. In terms of education ni belajar. Okay, the shape itself right here. Okay, we break down a little bit. Okay, we break down the shapes of those, what we call that, the hair line. So benda-benda macam ni semua, break down the shapes, you kena practice selalu tau. Kita tak boleh harapkan, okay, seminggu ni okay buat ini saja, okay, contohnya kan. Macam ni, they break down the shapes for those hand. Okay, the arms itself there, right. This one basically the circle for those, the joining itself again. This is basically the shoulders, okay, on the circle itself. Yang ni hands kan, tangan ni. How I actually break down the shapes from this square and twist a little bit the shapes. Yang ini sebenarnya datang pada cylinders, okay. Ni ada circles, ada cylinder sebit sini, ada 3 side. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Same goes to this one. Bukan kita saja buat tau. Okay. This is joining, the joining part. The hands. See? Pasal tangan ni, bila kita tengok, this part, first, second, benda ni boleh bend. Okay, benda ni boleh bend. Okay. Okay, your hands ni boleh bend. Ada 3 part kan? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So logically, bila kita lukis macam ibu jari ada 2 kan. So this is basically what we want to study on the reference itself. Kalau kita tak ada digital punya what we call that device macam ni, bukan senang nak study balik. So, macam ni sebenarnya kan, bukan kita draw that kind of line like this. Kita tengok balik the breakdown shapes. Okay. For these areas. This is the legs. This is basically the buttocks kan. The hip itself, these are the shapes. So try to break down a little bit. This is basically the chest, okay. And then, okay, the body part sebenarnya kat sini, we break down into another, okay. Again, to break down into 2 parts basically. Okay, dia punya chest, dia punya above, okay, the top body part dengan the lower body part over here. Dari 1, break down a bit. Just practice yourself. In terms of practice this kind of methods, saya tak nak you draw very nice line. Kita nak dapatkan that kind of very confident kind of strokes at the same time. Nampak macam saya draw laju kan? Tapi sebenarnya kita draw on the purpose tadi. Okay? Break down the shapes there, right? Okay? And at the same time, what we do for this exercise for these weeks is still develop our drawing strokes. Ni, kita tengok Abbas when they draw one of the areas, they draw macam ni sikit kan, macam ada sikit gangguan kan. Kalau you nak draw this kind of line based on the purpose, okay. Okay. Tapi kalau nak draw basically back again, okay, this is basically the line kat sini kan, the shape itself, right? Biasanya the breakdown into 2 different kind of shapes saja kat sini. Kalau kita nak buat on more details, okay. Kita ada breakdown a little bit into different shapes there. Macam human kind of bukan thigh, legs kan. Okay. When we draw them, this is basically 1 part cylinder, small part, and the second part like this. This is basically the human legs. Okay. This is basically the foot itself. Okay, the foot itself, the shapes of the foot. Okay. So benda tu main peranan penting untuk break down the shapes there. So when we break down the shapes over here, the same thing. Ada 3 parts sebenarnya. Okay, 3 parts there to draw. And we break down a little bit slowly lah. And detailing lah, right. So kalau kita boleh dapat kefahaman, pasal you dah belajar sebenarnya figure drawing last semester, tapi mungkin how detailed that you actually learn them, saya tak tahu. Tapi kalau based on what I saw from your drawings, obviously based on most of the submissions, still need more room for you to improve lah. Okay, especially for some of you guys there, right? Okay, to work on that. So kalau kita tengok drawing ni balik, okay, macam ni I break down these 2 different drawings, but look confident at the same time. I'm applying the understanding and the method itself at the same time. Okay, kita nak dapatkan this kind of drawing for this week. Alright guys, based on the same reference yang kita ada, kita gunakan balik untuk kita improve that. For those who actually can improve those drawings, jangan risau. Okay, this is you punya makanan lah katakan. Okay, tapi the rest of you guys, you still need more improvements. Alright, I can show your drawings over there. Please improve more. Okay, let me check back again. Ada soalan tak? Jangan keliru pula. Okay, you boleh guna these 2 methods to works. Okay, these 2 methods that works. We want to develop that kind of understanding that to break down the shapes. Okay, every single kind of shapes. Okay, for example, okay, kita ambil drawing ni. Mungkin drawing ni dia nampak very dynamic sikit kan. Okay. Saya nak scale down a little bit. Okay. Kalau tak ada this technology, macam contoh kita kena draw manually, macam kita akan experience later masa kita buat ni, you akan nampak different kind of obstacles lah. Okay, the thing that I actually have been taught you guys before and explained to you guys before, we can see one from our drawings over there. Okay, sekarang ni kita draw on the layers. Okay, kata there's a lot of advantage lah kan. Okay, macam contohnya the dynamic kind of pulse of here. Normal people, we draw all this kind of line. Okay, dia akan nampak benda ni sini. Okay, tapi as an artist, as a designers, as animators, we break down into different kind of shape. Okay, this one is shapes kan. This kind of shapes over here. Break down the shapes there. Okay, cylinder shapes there, right? Okay, so benda ni kita nak you adapt back again. Okay, yes, mana telinga dia ni? Orang tak faham, dia tak tahu mana telinga saya. Okay, I show you guys. This is basically the ears. Okay, the line work itself for the alignments over here. Okay, these are going to be the eyes. So, these are going to be the nose shapes. And kalau nak break down a little bit more details, boleh go further the shapes there. Okay, a little bit more details there. So kita nak adapt that kind of understanding at the same time there. From here, the what we call that the hair shapes. Okay, very messy, very kind of what we call it out of control, tapi kita still can redevelop them back again. Okay, how actually I draw those kind of lines, you tengok balik. Okay, that's me. Okay, ni saya tak pakai time selapse we draw. Okay, you dah tengok secara live kan. Okay, how actually I adapt all those kind of lines first. Okay, all those lines first. Dan bila kita close the reference, kita still can nampak dia punya structures, muscle connections, okay, the what we call that the alignment itself, semua tepat pada kedudukan yang kita bagi tu, kita dapat masa kita melukis. Okay, walaupun ada scenario macam kita tak go into details, tapi kalau kita nak pun boleh kita nak. Okay, but all this kind of thing came from our experience and understanding at the same time. Okay, we talk about the line of actions back again. Okay, this one basically the line of action is a little bit kind of very, okay, kalau kita tengok the line of actions, this is the line of actions there. And kita break down basically the neck areas. Ini kalau setengah orang dia akan buat macam ada another line of actions on basically those legs and also okay the hands. Tapi benda macam ni takkan bagi mana-mana manfaat kalau kita tak faham back again to draw the structures line. Okay, orang dia akan start benda ni kan bila dia draw that kind of image drawing, tapi benda tak sampai. Okay, so we break down back again. Okay, basically, okay, when we talk look about the shapes of this top body sebenarnya, dekat mana dia punya pecahan shapes. Sini satu, this is the lower body kan, the lower body. Ini break down basically the, sorry, kita tukar dia punya. Break down basically the pelvis, okay, the buttock itself over here, alright. Then we break down back again. Okay, this is a cylinder shapes. This is basically the cylinder shapes, okay, on the thigh. Kan? Saya tak nak buat benda tu terlalu what we call that neat. That's how you're going to control too much on your line. Sekarang ni kita nak nampak very spontaneous, the line, confidence, at the same time, you still in control. Okay, this is basically the knee pad. Okay, kneecap there, right? The kneecap. It doesn't have to be specific all the times. And then, sebenarnya you break down a little bit. Kat sini, dia punya shapes, okay, into 2 cylinders there. See, 2 cylinders there. Okay, ingat 2 cylinders there. Okay, bila saya draw the shapes kat sini kan, kita nak practice this kind of drawing guys. Okay, our animation students, I want you guys to practice this kind of line drawings. Okay, to draw the shapes, to draw those triangle for example kan. okay, or cone itself, you punya own kind of understanding to draw those boxes, for example. Okay, you ada your own confidence there. Go shadow, light came from over here, the shadow fall off over here. Okay, bila you draw kan, you nampak you punya confidence there. Ini yang kita nak daripada our animation students lah. Okay, you understand how to break down the shapes, you know how to control your line. Okay, now we control basically those kind of structures at the same time. This basically the what we call that, the fingernails there kan. Okay, when we break down back again. So this is the type of line that we want to produce. At the same time, you guys can go for details lah. For example, this one, the shoulder caps, shoulder kind of what we call that joint. Okay, now basically this is the arms. Okay, the hands basically came over here. Okay, macam susah sikit kita nak adapt kan. Tapi kita boleh dapat dia punya rough kind of movement lah, shapes lah. Okay, rough kind of movements there. Alright. This one basically, okay, there's a muscle connection on the shoulder over here, okay, on the back kind of bone itself. Okay, the shadows over here, you boleh adapt a little bit on the line itself. Sini. Okay, now right here, okay, even though you want to draw basically those kind of shadows line over here using the contour line, break down into shapes pun boleh, tak ada masalah. You mix them up. Remember what I say in our group chat with Aisha few days back kan? You can mix up your methods and techniques there, okay? Because we want to develop basically your kind of movements or flows when you draw. Itu yang paling penting. Okay, especially for those who actually have difficulty to work on that. The drawing is going to look messy, tapi basically there's a reason why we actually draw this kind of things like this. I did explain to you guys that just now. Okay, bukan kita just buat that messy kind of line out of purpose there. Okay, there's a purpose why we draw those kind of messy line. Okay, even though this one can break down into two types, sometimes we just draw one also can. Okay, we can draw one also can. Tak ada masalah saja. Okay, break down a little bit here. Here. Okay, just to understand. Okay, whatever that you're going to break down, make sure you understand. Jangan just basah buat bantai je kan. Tapi at the first time, maybe you're going to look a little bit more awkward if you like to draw. Okay, tapi you check balik, the whole structures are going to look fine when you complete them. There's a lot of confidence line over there, even though like this one also can be applied there, okay? But mix them up together. Try to get that kind of natural kind of movements when you start to draw them, okay? Kita nak dapatkan that kind of natural kind of movements. Okay, kalau you tak dapat that kind of natural kind of movement, pun susah juga sebenarnya bila you nak adapt to draw your own characters and features. Okay, we talk about, for example, okay, based on this characters reference, you nak to draw basically, right? Okay, ada reference ni kan, okay, tapi I nak draw back again. For example, from the body part. Okay. Kalau you guys boleh draw macam ni, okay, is a good thing. Then katalah kita nak draw apa? Draw the characters daripada contohnya wayang kulit lah, atau combination wayang kulit characters. Okay, sketch line first, okay. And then nose, and then the eyes, the lips, the right, and then the eyebrows. So you nak dapatkan that kind of ideas that first, okay, on your design, on your characters at the same time that first. That kind of things basically need your kind of attention of understanding that. Bila kita draw something there, right? Kita bukan nak draw the whole thing in details. Tapi the rough idea of your design, you can actually adapt that right first. Ini kalau kita cakap tentang draw the characters that based on human scale characters ke, okay. Some of the major details a little bit there. Okay, kita nak draw that, we want to develop the kind of ideas that is. So this is the type of drawings that animation students have to be mastered at first. Bukannya draw all those kind of clean line and show off to the people, I can draw there, okay? You boleh draw macam tu lah. Okay, sebenarnya kalau kita, in terms of to develop the skills, kalau kita draw one single kind of what we call that poster kind of what we call fashions, okay, you tak payah belagak lah kan, benda tu pasal apa kan, anyone can draw one single kind of reference as one single kind of fashion. Tapi kalau talk about animations, you nak draw that kind of animations later on in various type of postures, movements, okay, they're going to have a lot of difficulties in the future there. Okay, you're going to test your skill from there. Okay. Okay. So it will develop a lot of practice there, okay, to draw them. So this kind of gestures lines hanya kita nak practice your kind of behaviors of understanding. Okay, that kind of things there first. So animation students have to master and also know how to develop the right kind of gestures drawings sebelum korang nak buat any kind of characters there first. Okay, the right kind of movements. Okay guys, boleh this week improve back again your drawings based on the reference there. Tapi now we go into more details dan kita nak tengok when you draw those lines, you actually understand how it works there. Okay, alright. So jangan lupa record 1 minute video on that.
So for the next exercise is combination of the contour line and the structure.
Yes. Alright, combination contour line, structures line at the same time, break down into shapes, and actions line has to be applied from there at the same time. Boleh?
Okay.
Okay. Alright guys.
Right, sir.
Alright, any inquiries? Afiq ada? Afiq kau apa? 11:21 baru sampai Afiq. Aduh awak ni. Sekejap saya check balik. Okey, Afiq ada, Nadia ada. Minggu lepas ni korang ni yang dua ni tolong hantar surat. Tak cantik lah macam ni. Sebab saya nak hantar attendance ni minggu ni tau, hari ni ataupun besok tau. Dekat Puan Nora. So kita tak nak nanti, ada student ni tak datang ni nanti. Shanti ni, nanti you punya attendance tak cantik lah. Kadang-kadang kata macam, kita tak nak ada isu nanti. You guys tak ada isu nanti. Sebenarnya benda-benda jadi benda kecil tau, attendance ni. So kita tak nak jadi besar nanti benda tu. Alright? Okay guys? Lagging apa? Lagging dia, Afiq. Jangan lambat lagi. So saya akan upload this kind of video nanti dekat kita punya YouTube. So you guys boleh check back again. Okay. So those kind of things. So if you don't have any questions, thank you very much. Amiro, please improve there, okay? Shantini, I haven't seen your works there before. Alright. So please actually improve guys, okay? Sebenarnya guys drawing is not that hard, okay? Sebenarnya you kena adjust balik you punya mindset, okay, from the normal kind of way of drawings into a more professional kind of line way of drawings, okay? So there's a lot of things that you guys can actually improve when you develop a right kind of gestures line. Yang cuma nak hadam atau develop the breakdown shapes memang takes time. Walaupun ada reference ke, ada rujukan ke, dan sejauh mana I bagi you every single kind of details, tak semestinya you boleh buat kalau you tak practice. It has to come with the practice there. Saya ingat lagi masa saya belajar kan, 3 semesters, contour line, gestures line, what we call that, blind drawings, kan. 3 semester atau bukan 1 semester. Tapi when it come to 4th semester, even though I I develop very good kind of drawing skill from there. Tapi nak bila go for imagination drawings, ada juga masalah sebenarnya. Okay. Even though I can draw basic, I have that kind of obstacles like. Macam saya cakap tadi lah, dia bila kita nak go into a different phase of design, sometimes we find kind of a bit kind of hesitation. Okay, hesitated with our confidence then. Okay, when it come to draw. Okay, yang benda tu boleh overcome if you actually enjoy yourself to practice more and more further from there lah. Okay, so any questions? Macam Jamin kita nampak sini, okay, sebelum kita balik kita breakdown. Jamin some of the areas a bit kind of like very sloppy a little bit, macam kacau bilau sikit kan. Tapi hopefully you can improve more lah on the line work itself there. Okay, so Jamin ada certain line good, quite okay, tapi sebabkan you trace mungkin tak ada masalah. Okay, tapi kita when we break down the shape itself, we can see from there. Okay, whether you really understand or not, right? So improve more further from there. This one is Ismail. Okay, the line works. Okay, kalau boleh saya nak tengok that kind of quality of line lah. Okay, tebal nipis kind of lines. Okay, so that kind of things really important also. Alright. Mana Akilah? Akilah lukis anime banyak ni. Saya tengok dia punya drawing. So kalau saya tak dapat tengok, so saya tak explain semua. So jangan kecil hati ya. Mana Akilah? Okay, this is Akilah. Okay, Akilah punya drawing. You can see basically the line works itself, ada confidence, okay. Because we draw basically on the layers, okay. Banyak bantuan kita break down basically the shape back again, we can see from there, okay. So all these kind of things, okay, jadikan sebagai satu panduan pada you guys. Okay, if you really want to upload or make it into your own portfolios, okay, to see your kind of improvement further, okay. From time to time, so I really encourage you guys lah. Okay. So kita tengok sikit lagi. Okay, Alif, Afiq, Afiq mana Afiq? Tak ada pun dalam ni. Belum hantar lagi tak ada attachment pun. Dia apa belum hantar lagi. Okay. Alright guys, okay, kalau tak ada apa soalan, okay, thank you very much. Saya buat line size F4 je. Size 4. Kalau boleh perbagaikan line, okay, dalam 8 point, try to 8 point sebenarnya. Okay, 8 maximum maybe 10, depends on the resolutions of your files there. Kalau pakai 250 kadang 300, mungkin the point of size mungkin akan berbeza sikit. Okay, dan cuba jangan nipis sangat lah. Okay, memanglah korang ni memang pengaruh anime, memang lain kadang dia menipis, betul lah kan, bagus sebenarnya. Tapi kita nak develop that kind of quality of line at the same time. Is that right? Okay. Kalau you nak buat untuk you punya own animation, styles in the future, tak ada masalah. Dan okay, untuk this kind of particular kind of drawing line, kita cuba perbagaikan point of size, so kita boleh tengok the kind of quality of line at the same time your punya pressure kind of line and strokes there. Okay, to work on that. Okay, ada questions lagi? Siapa punya ni? Alif pun tak ada. Afiq pun tak ada. Alif pun tak ada lagi. Kan? Afiq tak ada, Afiq. Alif tak ada, Nadia tak ada. Okay. Siapa lagi ni? Nanti ni pun tak ada lagi. Zafirah. Zafirah last. Okay. Zafirah, line works is the tracing line. Kita tak nak tracing line dah. Okay. Kita tak nak this kind of tracing line. Okay, kita nak this kind of gestures line macam ni lebih kurang kan. Tapi kena tambah sikit more detail. Tak tengok macam ni you break down the form. Yang ni pun Zafirah, the line works and the quality of line ni nampak tracing. Habis. Okay Zafirah, tak nak tracing line Kita nak kind of break down shapes and quality of line at the same time. Okay. Alright. Okay Zafirah, you dah try buat that kind of breakdown tapi tak cukup sebenarnya. Okay. Nampak macam tracing, very simplified tapi doesn't actually speak too much on those kind of line. Nampak macam, yalah. Kalau macam ni, bila kita tengok, okay, apa yang kita boleh interpret? Kalau you guna basically a reference on the layers, memang you boleh buat. Okay. Tapi bila kita test for your assignments later on, because you have the reference, you have to choose your own reference, you break down the reference, and then you develop your own characters based on the reference. That right, okay? Itu akan menjadi masalah nanti. Pasal you nak faham tentang why you actually develop that kind of shapes, break down into shapes, modify them into your own characters. Benda itu akan jadi masalah nanti. Okay? Pasal kita tak develop that kind of understanding while we draw. We just trace them. Itu yang kita nak elakkan. Faham tak? Okay? Hopefully you faham. Kalau tak faham, buat faham dulu. Tapi practice more. Okay? Practice more and more further and further. Dan try to adapt that kind of understanding while you draw. Sebenarnya bila kita draw, kita speak in our mind. Kita try to thought in our mind. Kita will speak it ourselves and then try to analyse at the same time. Sebenarnya. Dan kita kena tengok juga rujukan-rujukan lain. Saya akan cuba bagi a few number kind of reference book. Hopefully can help you guys. Kalau tak boleh bantu pun at least you dapat rujukan that you can actually use in the future. In the future, hopefully there, right? Ada pasal manga sikit. Ada pasal manga punya buku, notes, ada pasal figure drawings a little bit and gestures line at the same time. Okay. I cuba masukkan dalam Google Classroom. You guys can actually download back again. Okay guys, any questions? Next week, saya akan sediakan a few number kind of reference. It's animal reference and you're going to draw based on that. Okay. Kalau perlu saya buat video demo, saya akan buat video demo lah. Okay, saya guna OBS, just buat demo punya versions, then upload into Google Classrooms. Even though we don't have our class, we still can do our assignments lah. For Shantini, walaupun di Bali, okay, enjoy main-main dengan drawing juga, okay. Jangan enjoy main dengan mercun, makan merukung, okay, tose, alright. Dan sahaja, okay, sama-sama itu layan juga drawing, okay. Pasal this is for your own good. Make it as a part of our lifestyle lah. Okay, belajar dalam bidang animasi atau kreatif ni is a part of our lifestyle. Okay? Bukan sebagai what we call that education hazard or occupation hazard only there, right? Okay, it is a part of our way of life and working at the same time. Okay, we enjoy ourselves more. Alright, so guys, thank you very much. Okay, I see you guys. Okay, later on. Alright, and all the best. And take care of yourself. Have a good holiday. All right. And at the same time, we enjoy ourselves working with our exercise there. Okay. Bye-bye. Take care, you guys. Have a good weekend. Our deadline, maybe we can actually combine together with our week 6 kind of exercise there together. I'm going to put it on our folders there. All right. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And have a good weekend. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.